Hello and welcome to Nice and Blunt. I'm Adam Mariancho. Today is Friday, August 15th, 1:45 p.m. We're going to hop into some $1 drafts and win it all. Let's go. All right, I'm happy that they brought this tournament back. I did not get in to the first one. I was busy the last time this thing dropped. $1 tournament at a chance at $20,000. The advance rates is also not that bad. Like you only have to finish top 3 in order to advance. And then 1 out of 10, that's not great, but it's kind of standard. That's usually how the playoff structure is. And then week 16 is 1 out of 6, better than 1 out of 10. And then the final is 470 people. If you make the final, you only get $20. So keep that in mind. You have to finish top 30 in the entire tournament to get $101 back and essentially make your money back. So if you get 5 of your 100 entries into the final, then you will only lose $1 minimum. But obviously, what we're vying for is first prize. $20,000 is what our goal is. So I think these lobbies are going to be pretty fucking weird. I think there's going to be a lot of randomness. With that in mind, let's get going. I'm going to hop into 2 at once. We're going to rip 2 at the same time. You do not have to do that, but that's what I'm going to do. I want to get in a few of these while I can. So that's what I'm going to do. I'll let you know in the chat when I am joining, and look out for that message. And when you see it, go ahead and join now when you see it. Okay, looks like the first one has filled, and then there's a second lobby with 5 out of 12 spots. So if you're still interested in joining, you still can get in at least one of them. Let's get this going, and then I'll have another tab going for the other one. Pretty sure this is the right one. Whoa, what the? Okay, so here is the first lobby we're in. We have pick 7. There we go. And then our second one, we have pick 9. And it looks like Jason Calhoun River Rat is in this one at pick 3. So lobby number 2 is going to be with Jason Calhoun. And then if you happen to be in the first lobby, go ahead and let me know. But we are underway, and hopefully I do not get auto-picked several times. What I need to keep in mind is the tab I'm not actively using, I need to get off the board. If you are going to do this, even if you're just like on your web browser and you're doing it for your own pleasure, like just one at a time, if you have the draft board open, it does not remind you how many picks are left until you're on the clock. So I'll just go CMC. Let's take McCaffrey. And then over here, the board started off pretty much the same. So once we have like a few picks on both, we'll know exactly which teams we're operating in. But with pick 9, I'll probably reach on some players. I'll probably just take who I want almost all the time. Like with only $1 buy-in, you can get kind of crazy with these. Not unreasonable to do that at just $1 a pop. But Jefferson off the board. Nico at pick 8. So on the clock here, could go Malik Neighbors. It's probably the wise decision, but let's mix it up. I'm gonna take one of my favorite players in the NFL. I'm gonna go Brian Thomas. Should probably go Neighbors. I do have Neighbors ranked above, but I think that one's gonna be the team that just makes me happy. Like I never regret clicking Brian Thomas in round 1 or 2. So even though it's above ADP, I don't really give a shit. We're just taking him. And then after that, Neighbors went Amon-Ra, Puka, A-Chain, Genti, Bucky goes. And as much as I would like to go Derrick Henry, I'm going to go with double wide receiver on this team. We're going to go Drake London. And we do have Michael Penix on the thumbnail here. So that team, I'm going to try and vie for a Michael Penix stack. But especially with the Darnell Mooney injury to start the season, I feel really confident in Drake London. Penix, I think, is going to be very good. On the clock with the Christian McCaffrey team. And I think we'll go double running back on this one because we went with double wide receiver on the other one. I'm going to go Josh Jacobs. Perhaps a less common combination. Just slightly. So our first team has Brian Thomas Jr. and Drake London. We're going with double wide receiver in this one. And then our following team start off McCaffrey and then Josh Jacobs. So one double wide receiver, one double running back. We'll see which one we like more at the end of it. We'll see if there's like a pitfall that happens as this draft goes forward. But I've done enough of these. I think I can make either strategy work. While I do have a preference, I generally like my teams a bit more with the double running back to start. I definitely don't want to never go with elite wide receivers. So we're mixing it up. We're trying to draft different teams in each of them. But Harrison, McBride, we are now on the clock. And we're going to make this a little risky. We're going to go Josh Allen here and go with the elite quarterback and double running back out the gate. Like I was there at pick 31. In this lobby, Josh Allen goes at pick 27. And I never really regret taking an elite quarterback in the third round. But would have been cool if we got McBride. That would have been awesome. McBride goes at pick 30. We do not get McBride. That's okay. But Lamar goes at 28. We're optimistic that a running back falls to us, but I don't think we're really going to get that. And with some balanced teams behind us, I wouldn't be shocked if there was another couple running backs taken with the 6 picks after me. So I'll probably grab a running back here just to get ahead of the market. And this tournament dropped today. It'll probably close within 24 hours. That's what happened last time. Damn, McBride fell. Would have been awesome. Dang. Missed out on McBride. That's unfortunate. I will go James Cook here. I rank him above Breece Hall. I'm not dying to invest in Breece Hall this season. And then we'll let some guys come back around. We're on the clock. Breece Hall is available here in the 4th round if we want him. But I have not taken a wide receiver yet. And so I will go Tet McMillan. Top of ADP, at least a receiver. And I do like him. We like Tet on this channel. But in round 4 with the other team, and this one does not need wide receiver, we took James Cook, Brian Thomas, Drake London. Could I use an elite quarterback? Probably. So let's do that. And Jalen Hurts does play the Bills in Week 17. I'm going to go with Jalen Hurts here. So perhaps, maybe I should have taken A.J. Brown instead of Drake London, but we didn't really plan ahead in that regard. So we'll just take Jalen Hurts. So both teams have a top 4 quarterback. One has Josh Allen, one has Jalen Hurts, and both are going to score double-digit rushing touchdowns. So that's always a safe play. But coming back around in round 5, probably need receiver the most here. Not a good part of the draft for tight end. It's sad that in both leagues we got McBride sniped one spot above us at a big discount. But with CMC, Josh Jacobs, I'll pass on Chuba. I'll go Travis Hunter. It's starting to look like he's much more going to be playing on offense than defense. Like, he'll still play both, but it seems like they're really incorporating him on offense. And so in fantasy, that's exactly what we want. And then I think this is the lobby that's moving faster. So I'll stick with this one. But so far, this team has CMC, Josh Jacobs, Josh Allen, Tet, and Travis Hunter. So double elite rookie wide receiver, both drafted in the top 8 overall this season. How could that go wrong? Debo gets taken. Would have liked to grab Debo there, but alas, we do not get him. And Diggs has been looking good. We'll go with Diggs. He's been moving up the board just to take him. And I like drafting Drake May in general. So that's mainly the plan with taking Diggs there. I feel like that price might be a little too high, but he's definitely not coming back around to me at the next round. So we will take him with the plan of drafting Drake May in New England. And then this team has a lot of flexibility, a lot of options here. Man, I miss the days when TreVeyon Henderson was a 6th-round pick. It was so much easier back when that was the case. But not interested in Waddle very much. Flowers, we don't have Lamar, so it's not a complete necessity. I'm going to go James Conner. We'll grab another running back before it gets abysmal at that spot. One of these picks in rounds 5 and 6, I do want another running back. So you take James Conner, and that team is about to be back on the clock. We are on the clock with this team. I think I can get Khalil Shakir to fall back, so I'll go Jaden Higgins. And then on this team with only 8 seconds, I need a receiver. I'll go Rome. I'll take Rome Odunze. Bryce is asking, am I doing another one after? Yes, we are definitely doing at least one more after this, if not multiple. But okay, we're in round 7. Let's review this team that started off Christian McCaffrey, Josh Jacobs, Josh Allen. We go with 4 straight wide receivers, and 3 of them are rookies. So perhaps some veteran leadership is what this team needs, but I think we'll get by. I like all of these rookies. I think they're going to be fine. I think they have a lot of value early on, pretty instantly. And I think they're all better than their ADP, basically. Maybe not Travis Hunter. Travis Hunter, I think, is being fairly quoted in the 5th round. But Andrews goes off the board at 88 to that team with Lamar. Keon off the board, so neither of our Bills options fell back around. That's okay, though. I'm going to take Jaylen Warren. A running back I trust. I think he'll be better than Caleb Johnson, in all honesty. I am worried that Aaron Rodgers tries to keep Caleb Johnson off the field because of his pass protection, lack of ability. Might be wrong, might be right. We will find out. Damn, this team would have been dope if McBride was there at 33. He went 32 in this lobby. That would have been fun. Can't have everything. And in this team, we have Brian Thomas, Drake London, and Rome Odunze at wide receiver, quarterback Jalen Hurts, running backs Cook and James Conner. On the clock with the next pick. And receiver is dried up quickly. We do get a discount on Caleb Johnson. And I normally don't take Caleb Johnson, but because we just took Warren, let's have a team that fades him and goes in the opposite direction. My other team is also back on the clock. We just took Warren on that one. And we go Darnell Mooney. But this is not the team with London. That's the only like big problem when you're juggling multiple at once. Sometimes you think you're drafting on the other team, and you're not. But Rel, Fantasy Football Talk, is asking, when did these drop? Sometime earlier today. There's already been... How many of these teams have already been drafted? This tournament has 112,000 entries, and so far 34.6 thousand have already been taken. It's already 30% full. Sweet. We get Jaden Higgins in the 8th round. Don't need to reach on him. He's still there for us. And this team definitely needed wide receiver when it has 3 running backs. We could have gone TJ Hawkinson, but that's not my desired pick. And then I almost took Rashid Shaheed in the last round, but messed up. And he's still on the board. So I'll take Rashid Shaheed. This is that team that we faded wide receiver early. So as our 6th receiver, we also have Mooney, but Shaheed does have that high upside as a deep threat. But the Saints wide receiver core, not the most exciting you can invest in. But wide receiver 6, I'll take it. So neither team has a tight end at this point, but both have an elite quarterback. They each have 3 running backs and at least 5 receivers, if not 6. I think we're in decent shape here. But this one's moving way faster, so let's stick with this one. Rail, yes, I will definitely do at least one more after this. Jamie, welcome in. How you doing? And now I'm on the clock. And tight end is dried up quickly. So we'll take Dalton Kincaid, stack him up with Josh Allen. Happy to have some stack on this team. We missed out on the Shakir and Keon stack. So let's take Kincaid in round 11. And it seems like all the tight ends that used to be going in round 11 are now going in rounds 10, sometimes round 9. Like Loveland goes pick 100, Tyler Warren at 102. Njoku 113. Tight end has been kind of moving up the board quickly. Yeah, Jamie, we are in the Little Dalmatian at the moment. That's what we're doing right now. Judkins was taken. I'll go Tyjae Spears. Pick 138. And then this team is on the clock. Jesus. I don't recommend doing these 2 at one time. I'll take Evan Ingram. The tight end market has been steaming up the board lately. So we got 2 elite wide receivers on this team, Rome Odunze and Jaden Higgins. We got some decent running back production. Let's get Evan Ingram our tight end sorted out. And then back on the clock in 3 picks. Right, this is not the team with Diggs. So, not the team to stack up Drake May. This is the team with London, team I want to stack up with Michael Penix. And I'm going to go Luther Burden. Get another viable wide receiver in our lineup. We are going to run out of options at that position. We need points at receiver. And then this team, geez. I don't think I'm going to do 2 at once ever again. This fucking sucks. I'm just going to take Geno. Okay, so let's review this team at 9. We have Brian Thomas, Drake London, James Cook, Jalen Hurts, James Conner, Rome Odunze, Caleb Johnson, Jaden Higgins, Evan Ingram, and Luther Burden. We're pretty solid at wide receiver, so I'm going to try and cool it in that regard. The running back core is fine, but maybe not the best possible. So I got to get back in on that position soon. And then tight end, we have Evan Ingram, and we also have Jalen Hurts. I'm hoping that Goddard will be there. We'll find out. On this team, we have Josh Allen, Geno Smith. And we are getting a minor discount on Rashad White. I'll take Rashad White. That's fine. Top of ADP and 8 picks past where he goes. That's a fine pick. This one on the clock very shortly. And this is the team with Hurts. So Goddard definitely in play here. We're kind of reaching on him, but I'm going to draft the quarterback with the next pick, and we got some options. I'm going to go Dallas Goedert here to stack up with Hurts. We could risk that he's there on the next round, but we'll just take him now. And then this team, I think I'm going to be done at running back. I think we'll stop at 5. This team needs tight end. And then this team, I can go with Trevor Lawrence or Michael Penix. Either one works on this team. But the other one is on the clock. Yeah, I'll go QJ. I like this price on QJ. Pick 175. I'll take that. And then here, yeah, we have access to both, but in my heart, I think I want to gamble with Penix. I do trust Trevor Lawrence. I think he's going to be fine. But there's the upside that we just haven't seen yet with Penix. And we took London on this team. So let's get it. And then this roster, oh, dang, Jonnu goes off. I was hoping to get Jonnu Smith in round 16. We don't get him. Kind of a bummer. I only have 1 tight end on this roster. We'll need another one. I will grab Jatavion Sanders. We'll go Jatavion. We got 2 picks left on that team. I think I'll grab a third tight end, given I only have Kincaid and Jatavion Sanders. That's the plan over there. And then this team with Penix. Still a few picks away. But aside from the overstimulation of drafting 2 at once, I think I've done okay. I may have ignored running back a little bit too much on this team, but I think we're still in good shape. On the clock in 1 pick. And although technically there are some good values at wide receiver here, I think I need to get in on running back. And I'm willing to bet that Najee's going to be okay. Maybe not week 1, but inevitably somewhat okay. Might be the wrong decision, but we'll go Najee. And then here, I am on the clock. I'll take Jalen Noel. I used to say Noel, but it seems like it's probably Noel. The Frenchman in me goes with Noel, the word for Christmas. In my opinion, he could be bearing a lot of gifts come December. Jalen Noel could technically be the piece you need if, let's say, Nico goes down. But all of these wide receivers are decent. I'll go QJ again. Get him on both teams. I'm fine with Quentin Johnston's updated price. Didn't used to take him like crazy earlier on, but I'll take him here. And then there's no like real stacking option at tight end here. So even though I have Geno unstacked, I'm not going to grab Michael Mayer. I'll go Theo Johnson. Just like Jatavion Sanders, I view both of them pretty identically. And I think they both have decent floors, and maybe the touchdowns alternate. So that team is full. Let's take a look at this final roster. We had the 7 pick, and we went with Josh Allen and Geno Smith at quarterback. Geno is unstacked. That's not the best. But then CMC, Jacobs, Jalen Warren, Tyjae Spears, and Rachaad White. The running back core is pretty good. More top-heavy, though. And then wide receiver, we have Tet McMillan, Travis Hunter, Stephon Diggs, Jaden Higgins, Darnell Mooney, Rashid Shaheed, QJ, Jalen Noel. So 8 receivers on a team. I think I need it. We waited until round 4 to grab Tet as our number 1. I think I needed at least 8, if not 9. And then our tight end core is a bit thin, but we do have Kincaid stacked up. We have Jatavion Sanders and Theo Johnson. I think this team is fine. But having the backup running back core with Tyjae and Rachaad White, 2 guys that have taken some preseason injuries, may be a bit risky. But I would expect CMC and Jacobs to carry me in the beginning of the season. We're not expecting Tyjae or Rachaad to contribute in the early part of the year. So they have time to recover. I think they'll be okay for the sake of this build. But a little risky. And then this team is almost on the clock. Right now we're sitting at 2-4-6-2. We need some more running backs. Maybe only 1 wide receiver. I think the receiving core is fine. Tight end is good. We need a running back, and Will Shipley does correlate with Jalen Hurts. Let's take Will Shipley. Him and Rico Dowdle in a very similar situation as backup handcuffs. I would say Dowdle probably has more of like a week in, week out floor. Probably gets more targets and receptions while Chuba is healthy. But if the starter goes down, I definitely think Shipley has the higher upside in Philadelphia. But we're going to be back on the clock. It's possible Rico is still there. So we could go Rico. Are there any Falcon stacks that I'm like not thinking of? There's Ray McCloud, Kaderil Hodge. Yikes. Rico's still at the top of ADP, and this team has good tight end production, so I don't need Jonnu Smith. Yeah, I'll pass on the receivers here. I'll go Rico Dowdle, our 6th running back, and I think a pretty good back end option. So this team has Jalen Hurts, Michael Penix, good quarterbacks. Running back is James Cook, James Conner, Caleb Johnson, Najee Harris, Will Shipley, and Rico Dowdle. So a bit of risk, but enough depth where I think it will cover our ass if we need it. And then wide receiver, we have Brian Thomas, Drake London, Rome Odunze, Jaden Higgins, Luther Burden, Quentin Johnston, and then tight end is Evan Ingram and Dallas Goedert. So at least I have Goedert stacked up. At least I have London stacked up. We also have Shipley stacked up for whatever that's worth. And then we also have a little bit of week 17 correlation. For instance, James Cook against the Eagles combo that we do have. And then technically Najee in LA with the Chargers does play Jaden Higgins and the Texans as well. So a little bit of correlation, not a ton, but enough to get by. 2 rounds left, and we are rocking with the 2-6-6-2 build. I'll need at least one more receiver, if not 2. And I think one of them is going to be Ray McCloud. And then, I've contemplated stacking up Jahan Dotson a few times with Jalen Hurts. If I'm going to do it, this is the type of environment to do it. A $1 buy-in. There's no risk involved. For $1, I might take Jahan Dotson. But if I'm in like a Husky tournament where it's $40 to enter, or like Best Ball Mania at $25, even a $5 tournament, I never take Jahan Dotson. So we'll satiate the appetite on that typically undrafted Jalen Hurts stack. You never know. Maybe A.J. Brown does get hurt. Maybe Jahan Dotson steps in. But in general, he's not contributing very much. But these last 2 picks will go with wide receiver. I do like Elik Ayamanor, but we're trying to stack, so we're gonna go Ray. A player that did have a lot of volume last year, kind of underrated. 87 targets is quite a lot, and then another 10 rush attempts. He only had 1 touchdown though. That's the big problem. All the other stat lines are fine, but only 1 touchdown, and in the last 4 years, only a total of 3 touchdowns. Ray is not really moving the needle generally, but maybe Michael Penix will change things. Maybe he gets Ray going a bit more. If Darnell Mooney was not injured, though, I would never even consider Ray McCloud. Just a floor play, not a good pick in general. But Mooney might be missing some time. About to be back on the clock, and boy, this feels strange. But I am queuing up Jahan Dotson. I used to really like Jahan Dotson. His rookie season, I actually thought Jahan Dotson was going to be a good player. And he did have like 1 productive season. 113 points as a rookie, 7 touchdowns. But then massive disappointment, year 2 in Washington, and then last year in Philadelphia. A complete 0. But let's hope he turns it around. Let's take a shot on Jahan Dotson with Jalen Hurts. So final roster is Hurts and Penix. Running backs are James Cook, James Conner, Caleb Johnson, Najee, Will Shipley, and Rico Dowdle. And then wide receivers Brian Thomas, Drake London, Rome Odunze, Jaden Higgins, Luther Burden, QJ, Ray McCloud, and Jahan Dotson. Really good at the top. The depth quickly thins out once we hit Quentin Johnston, though. Tight end, Evan Ingram, Dallas Goedert. I think this team is fine. I'm expecting zeros from Dotson and McLeod, but who knows? Maybe they mix in when we need them. Anyways, that's going to be it for that draft. We're going to hop into one more. And I don't think I'm doing two at a time this time. I don't think I'm going to put myself in that jam once again. So voluntarily, I'm only going to do one of these in this instance. So if you want to hop in, I will add it in the chat. So hold off for a second. When you see the words join now, that means I am about to click the button. That is the time to click it. So I'll wait just a few seconds and then drop it now. Let's go. There's 2 spots left. It's full. These $1 tournaments are going to fill very, very quickly. So if you want in, it's got to be synced up most likely. But I do get pick 12. We'll see what happens. Jamie, at least we're not in the same lobby. If we're in the same lobby, then only one of us can win. But I'm drafting a bit differently than I normally do in these, so maybe I'm making the right calls, maybe I'm making the wrong calls. We have no idea. We're not going to know, but we are going to win. That we do know. So inevitably, everything's going to become the right decision. Jamie says, I was high on Ayamanor before the NFL draft. Thought he had second-round talent, but he fell. Still can be great. Yeah, I thought he would go higher than the 4th round as well. I think I had him at like either very late round 2 or very early round 3 in my mock draft. I forget which team I had him going to, but I think it was the Texans. I think I had him going like one of the last picks of the 2nd round to the Texans. And then he went round 4. So there were some talented receivers that fell in general, some good players that did not go as high as I expected, but you never know. Sometimes there's like injuries that we have no idea about, but the teams do. And then maybe sometimes they just like tank their, like their mental tests or character concerns. But all the reports I've read recently surrounding Tennessee is that they are expecting the rookies to be like big contributors in their offense. And the one I think is going to emerge the most is Elik Ayamanor, vying for the X receiver with Van Jefferson. Not expecting Van Jefferson to be a big problem for him. But interesting to see Jefferson at 5 behind CMC, and then Saquon and Gibbs falling to pick 6 and 7. Those teams at 6 and 7 are in very good shape. I'm very envious of Team 7. Jamie says there's like a 10-second delay, so I could not get in. Yeah, unfortunately, the delays have been random, I've noticed. And so that's why I decided maybe if I drop the join now in the chat, that I know is synced up. That I know is instant. So I'll look for the chat to tell you when to hop in. But I'll probably do one more after this as well. Okay, Brian Thomas off the board. F it, I'll take Puka here. And then we'll keep this one balanced. I'll go Puka paired with Derrick Henry. But whenever we're at the 12, you can kind of do whatever you want and expect a long wait coming back around. Anyways, Nav is asking, hey, Henry or Chase Brown in PPR redraft league? That's a very good question. Henry does not catch very many passes in PPR, so he does move down the board. He does lose some value. From a safety standpoint, I still think he's a really reliable option. The touchdowns are, the thing that really moves the needle in general at the running back position. But in PPR, it's definitely more enticing to go with Chase Brown. I could see Chase Brown average 5 catches a game. That's what he was kind of giving you last year when he was the RB1. And that does go a long way, especially when Derrick Henry is not even averaging like 2 catches per game. I think I'm going to go Chase Brown there. It's really close. Chase Brown has like some injury concerns. He didn't stay fully healthy all of last year. but Derrick Henry's 31. So it's kind of a wash in regards to injury concerns. Both offenses are very productive, going to score a lot of touchdowns. I don't think you can really go wrong with either pick. If you wanted the safer floor, go Derrick Henry. If you want the higher ceiling, go Chase Brown. I think I would go Chase Brown in full PPR. It's very close though. But Chase Brown is one of my more coveted options in full PPR. Henry does lose considerable value. Like, I think I'd rather have A Chain. Okay, I think we're going to kick out someone that just flooded the chat here. We have a bot in the chat. What the fuck? Do not post a message 6 or 7 times. I'll let it slide this one time, but if you spam this chat one more time, I'm bouncing you. Jamie saying that just means you made it in life. They show up once in a while. Yeah, I remember. Thankfully, I haven't had this problem in a while. But like, when I think I was in like year 2 of the channel, and I would post videos, and like within 10, 12 seconds, I would notice there'd be like bots that would put like, like the picture is like a really attractive girl, and the comment is like, oh, I love watching your videos, and like you really brighten my day type of thing. And then there's like a link to some random ass shit, and I would block that shit instantly. But it seemed like it was like a trend for like a couple months, maybe like 2-3 years ago, and then it hasn't been a problem since. So I don't know if like YouTube is just getting better at relegating that type of stuff, but um in general I don't encounter it very often. I think I'm going to take George Kittle. I'll grab the elite tight end. And then we got Puka, we got Henry. It's kind of a weird spot at receiver at this turn here. We took Tet on a different team. I'll go Xavier Worthy. I don't really know what to make of the Rashee Rice suspension thing. Like all summer, it's been a weird up in the air situation, and now like I still think he's gonna get suspended. I really don't know for sure. It's kind of hard to say what's gonna happen with Rashee Rice. But in my opinion, I still trust Xavier Worthy a little bit more, and I think he's a fine 4th-round pick. We're at the turn, so any player, even in the 5th round, is at play here. If you want them and they're not going to make it back to you, you can just take them. But I'll go Xavier Worthy because he has that like massive upside. And in best ball, I think he's a better pick. I think he's a much better pick in best ball. You know, Albie, I think you've been with me for long enough. I think you make a very strong case here. I think I will make you a mod. I do trust you at this point. Problem is I can't do it in the pop-out chat. Give me a second. There we go. Albie, promoted to moderator. Albie's in here all the time. And not just this year, last year as well. Albie, thank you, my man. But it seems like they accepted the threat as legit. Told him if he did it again, he'd be bounced. And it hasn't happened since. Yeah, the power of the mod Congrats, Albie. Let it go to your head. Just let it feed your ego, and every single draft you enter, you're just gonna crush with all these mod powers. It's like an infinity gauntlet. Okay, gonna grab RJ Harvey here. And then I have Kittle, I have Henry. We could go Flowers, we could go Pearsall. Gonna go Pearsall. We have Kittle. I think I'll set it up for that Purdy stack. So keeping it balanced. We've only taken one receiver at each of these turns. We go Puka, Derrick Henry, Kittle, Xavier Worthy, RJ Harvey, and Ricky Pearsall. So far, I think this team is pretty good. We just need Stafford to be available, and we need Harvey to beat out J.K. Dobbins. Or for Dobbins to just go down, which is very likely. But we've made it to at least the midpoint of the stream. Let's take a little break ski, shall we? Albie with a thank you speech, thanking the creators of YouTube, your parents. You gotta thank your mom and dad, baby Jesus, of course, and Adam Ranchero. I don't know who Adam Ranchero is. Yo, get him the fuck out. Get him the fuck out. We already warned you. Get him the fuck out. Albie, come in, bro. Albie has the power. Love to see it. We threatened him and then reminded him, and he was like, well, I only got one more chance to do this. It's like a poison pill, you know. It's like that guy's like a spy for MI6, and he's got like a cyanide capsule in his back molar. He's like, fuck it. I mean, if I'm gonna go out, let's go out in a blaze of glory. But get the fuck out of here. Stream on CBS. No, if you were telling us to stream on Stream East or OneStream, where I watch all of my NFL content, then maybe you could stay. But on CBS.com, fuck that. Gonna go Josh Downs. And then I can't stop myself. I'm taking Jaden Higgins every fucking time. I have a problem with Jaden Higgins. I mean, perhaps this is going to be the key that wins me a shit ton of money this season. But Jaden Higgins, if you were watching the channel maybe just like 4 weeks ago, I had him at like 11%. And in the last 4 weeks, he has risen to like 22%. I cannot stop taking him. And I reach on him too. Like I don't just, it doesn't just fall in my lap. I'm just like, even in round 7, once like Myers and Addison are off the board, I take Jaden Higgins like crazy. Sorry, I've missed some comments. Nav is saying I have the 10th pick in my sweaty home league, and I'm thinking going Nico round 1 and then either A-Chain or Genty, Chase Brown, Henry as my second pick. In this full PPR format, I think I'd put Chase Brown over Genty. But A-Chain is the clear pick in full PPR. Even if I'm worried about the Dolphins, in full PPR, A-Chain just covers so many holes. Yeah, if you can get A-Chain in the second round, take that all day. I think I'd go Chase Brown next. Genty, And Henry, I don't think is like a huge deal. Which one is your preference? In full PPR, it's a little bit different. Okay, we're on the clock. And Purdy did not make it to me. Got sniped by one selection. Kind of brutal. But I do get the consolation prize of Justin Fields, a quarterback you don't have to stack with anyone. So that'll be the pick. And then should probably get back in at running back before I regret it. We'll go with Charbonnet, the most high upside handcuff probably in the league. We'll take Charbonnet. But sad to see Purdy go at 107. The team does not have a Niner, so just feeling spiteful. They had Breece Hall. Why did they not take Justin Fields? That's very, very annoying from Kyle at pick 11. Oh, you guys can't see it because my head is blocking. But I'm at pick 12, nice and blunt, and then team 11 is Kyle with like 5 Ys. Kyle. Why did you do that? Yeah, we've been streaming for a couple years now, Jamie, but no worries, man. You're here now. Yeah, at some point, Albie gets to determine our 18th round pick. But in this draft, Albie, you have full reign on who we go in round 18. The blue wrench does look good. Thank you, Best Ball on Call. That was recorded back in like 2021. I've had that for 4 years now. I had a feeling it might be a typo, but I get a lot of autocorrects with my last name. Some people get the first part right and then they butcher the end. Like I've gotten Rion Co so many times. And it's like, how do you see that as Co? Like a CH is pretty guaranteed to be a ch sound, you know? People mess it up a lot. I'll take Stroud to pair with Jaden Higgins. And then we have a very good tight end, so I don't think I need to draft Kincaid or Ferguson here. I definitely could, but I'd probably feel a little bit better at running back. Let's take a gamble on Bashal Tutin. I still have not given up on Bashal Tutin, but the writing on the wall says maybe this is not going to be his year if Bigsby's that legit. But Bigsby's not a pass catcher. What we're hoping for is that Bashal Tutin really emerges as the pass catcher. Rialto pops up a lot too. There's a theater near where I live, the old Rialto Theater, that's like a historic theater in South Pasadena. That place used to be dope. That's where I watched the Simpsons movie. It does not exist anymore, but that's pretty hyper specific to the LA suburb of Pasadena. Paolo Ranchero. But apparently Riancho means wide river. That's supposedly the translation. Rio is river, ancho is wide. So my Spanish ancestors must have lived near a river that was wide. That's my guess on what that means. Because usually, like, when people pick last names, it's like something kind of random. Either it's like their profession or it's like something that just like they see nearby. Like the last name Shepherd. They herd sheep. Oh, is this Is this fucker back? Created a new account just to spam it. Gonna grab Hunter Henry over Brenton Strange. Damn it, he's got a week 14 bye. That was unfortunate. That was the tiebreaker I should have paid attention to and did not. And then I got 5 receivers. I'll get back in at receiver, but I'll go Cedric Tillman over Demario Douglas. I don't have Drake May, and Demario has kind of risen a little bit higher than where I like him now. Granted, this is technically a good price on Demario these days, but when I was taking Demario in the 15th and 16th round, that felt really good. When he was moving up into the 14th, I was like willing to tolerate it. I was like, okay, this is still fine. It's behind Kyle Williams. And technically in this draft, it is behind Kyle Williams. I do think Demario is the better pick. But we took Hunter Henry. I don't think we needed to go double New England there when we don't have Drake May on the team. So give me Tillman in round 14. Wayne says, I think Penix and Tua the only lefties in the league. That shit throws you off. It is kind of odd to see, but it's kind of surprising that there's only 2. Like, isn't the left-handed community like 15% of the population? So if that was just baseline, in all of athletics, we would get at least 3, if not 4, left-handed quarterbacks in the NFL. You'd think there'd be more of them, but they're actually very rare. Maybe they just are incentivized to play baseball. Being a left-handed hitter in baseball is usually an advantage. But apparently Dylan Gabriel is also left-handed. I did not know that about Dylan Gabriel. Probably noticed it at some point, but completely forgot. With Tua and Michael Penix, though, it's very difficult to forget. I was watching Albert Breer earlier today, and he said that in the Falcons stadium, they're comparing him to Matthew Stafford. They think what they're seeing from Michael Penix is very similar to Matthew Stafford. And most of the coaches there come from LA. Like Raheem Morris used to be the defensive coordinator for the Rams. He brought a lot of people he knows with him. And apparently they really, really like Michael Penix and comping him to Matthew Stafford. That's a glowing endorsement. I go Keaton Mitchell here because I have Derrick Henry, and I am a believer that having the handcuff running back is not a bad strategy in general. So even though Keaton Mitchell is perhaps overpriced, I still think Justice Hill is a valuable piece. If you told me that Derrick Henry does go down, I do understand that Keaton Mitchell maybe has more ceiling potential than Justice Hill, who's maybe more of a floor play and maybe better in full PPR than half PPR. So I do want some of Keaton Mitchell. We took Will Shipley in a previous draft, so I pass on him for Keaton Mitchell. And with Derrick Henry as our second-round pick, now we're just locked into the Ravens running back 1. The points in Baltimore, regardless if Derrick Henry goes down or not, will be in our lineup. Got 2 picks left, and this team has the 2-5-7-2 approach. I think I'm comfortable enough with the running backs where I probably won't take another one. Stop at 5. Excuse me. Needed to sneeze. Our tight ends are Hunter Henry and George Kittle. Our receivers are Puka, Worthy, Pearsall, Downs, and Jaden Higgins, along with Cedric Tillman and Torrey Horton. I could still probably use another one. And then I definitely think I need another quarterback. There's just limited options remaining. So maybe I should have taken a quarterback earlier. But Russell Wilson goes, Aaron Rodgers goes, Jalen Naylor goes. So quarterback a bit shaky. This is a $1 draft. Let's go Jackson Dart. At some point he will start. At some point he's getting on the field. I don't trust Russell Wilson all year. Let's go Jackson Dart. And then at wide receiver, I'll go Isaac Tesla. Tesla is the final pick. So on this roster, we have Justin Fields, CJ Stroud, and Jackson Dart. Might get nothing out of Dart to start the season, but I think at worst by the bye week, we'll have Dart on the field in fantasy playoffs. And he does have some rushing value. Even though he's unstacked, it's not like impossible that he cracks our lineup, but pretty unlikely. Running back Derrick Henry, RJ Harvey, Zach Charbonnet, Bachel Tutin, and Keaton Mitchell. And then wide receiver Puka, Xavier Worthy, Ricky Pearsall, Josh Downs, Jaden Higgins, Tillman, Torrey Horton, Isaac Tesla, George Kittle, and Hunter Henry. So we were at the 12. We got sniped on Purdy. That was our main stacking option. And I've noticed I've not really had like a ton of stacks lately. I've been missing out on some of those clicks, whether I'm pushing it and just not getting the falling value or just not prioritizing it. Let's try and change that. We're going to do one more Little Dalmatian. One more $1 entry. And I will let you know in the chat when to join. So be ready. I will count it down, but there is a delay. And so, actually, no, I'm not going to count it down. Just when you see my comment in the chat, that's when you need to hop in. So I hope you're paying attention. Four spots filled. These tournaments are going quick today, but I do see River Rat is in here with us. I do recognize River Rat, and we get a good pick. We get pick 1, so much different than our last two. I guess our last 3 drafts. We had pick 7, we had pick 9, and 12. Albie says he got in too early. Bummer. Yeah, these ones are filling so effing fast. And also, like, a lot of people join, like, 10 leagues at once because they're just $1. And so sometimes, like, there'll be a cachet of lobbies that are already, like, halfway full with, like, all the same people. And so there's already, like, limited options in the first place. So River Rat makes it in, but I don't recognize anybody else in today's lobby. We will go Jamar Chase. That's pretty obvious. Yes, we manifested the other bookend. Yo, this is ridiculous. Just keeps making new accounts. Like, probably mad that I criticized the CBS choice. But thank you for getting on the trigger finger quick, Albie. The mod privileges being tested. So Jamar Chase, then CeeDee Lamb, then a run on running back here. Cobra, this is a very valid point. I'm surprised that they don't try to do this more often, but I think they're maybe not worried about it, but I definitely think at some point in their mind, they are on, like, there's a risk that they don't fill some of their other bigger tournaments. Like, the sprint does not have as many spots taken as I would have expected at this point of the year. Same with Best Ball Mania. I thought it would have been closer to being full. I trust that they will fill, but in the back of their mind, they probably got to think like, okay, we have a bunch of other tournaments that are on the docket that we either have had for a long time or have yet to drop. And these $1 tournaments might de-incentivize people to hop into them. So I'm not surprised they're not doing more of them, but I'm glad they did another one. I was pissed when I missed the first one. Albie, you are doing a phenomenal job. Thank you very much. Anyways, after that run at receiver, it seems like Jefferson's now like officially earliest I've seen Jefferson is pick 5. I have seen Jefferson fall like pick 9 a few times. But then Nico at 8, Neighbors at 9, A-Chain, Amon-Ra, Puka, very typical. And then BT, Genty, Derrick Henry, London, AJ Brown. Nothing too strange about this lobby. Yeah, it's kind of shocking that there was never a need for this, and now as soon as we give Alvy the job, he's earning it. What's the over under on these messages getting deleted again in the remaining draft time? At least once, right? Okay, I'll go T Higgins. We'll set up the Joe Burrow stack, and then I'm also gonna grab Omarion Hampton. Round 3, give me the running back, because nobody that's like really really elite that like needs to be taken in the 3rd round is available. As much as I think Kyron is like fine, I still don't like feel great about clicking Kyron Williams. I don't know. There's a part of me that's still worried about him. Because I wasn't really worried about his contract situation. He got it. It's a decent investment, but I don't know if it fully moves the needle. They still drafted Jarquez Hunter, and then Blake Corum could technically take a leap. I don't know for sure if Kyron Williams' role is going to be identical or if he's going to be anywhere near as efficient. Then there's also the Jimmy Garoppolo red flag. He might get a bunch of starts if Stafford really does miss time. Plus the Davante Adams target share in the red zone. Probably going to steal some of that touchdown production from Kyron. But Kyron's still like fine. I still have Kyron as a top 13 running back. So maybe there's some regression, but his floor is still pretty high. And perhaps Omarion Hampton is not going to live up to all the hype, but I think he's going to be pretty good. Even without Rashawn Slater, I still think Omarion Hampton is worth a 3rd round pick. Plus, I'm at the bookend. He was not making it back. A team at 12 does get the Puka Davante Adams combo, and they take Breece Hall. So they don't go completely anti-running back. But Breece, a scary pick. Not the safest pick. Might be really good. Probably better in best ball. Because when he does pop, I think the ceiling is like 30 plus points. Like, Breece is going to have some massive games. But then I also think there's going to be some big duds from Breece Hall. I beat you to it on that one, Albie. Okay, coming back on the clock here. We have Hampton, Jamar Chase, and T. Higgins on this team. Do I push it with Joe Burrow? That's the only question. Do we risk that Burrow does not come back around? I don't think I will. I think I'm just going to take Joe Burrow here because these are weird lobbies, and I think some teams will just take Burrow unstacked. So we'll take Joe Burrow, and then I'll pair him up with Kenneth Walker. TreVeyon Henderson is off the board already. So we'll go Kenneth Walker. I think a very good pick in round 5. Now that TreVeyon is going much higher, I will grab Kenneth Walker because I've liked him all summer. However, I viewed him in the same tier as guys like TreVeyon and James Conner and Chuba Hubbard. And when, for the majority of the offseason, I could get TreVeyon Henderson in the 6th round, I would just end up passing on running back in general in the 5th. Like it's a big reason why I don't have very much Chuba Hubbard this season, because I was just waiting on Henderson in the 6th. And now that's looking like it was a very good strategy now that Henderson is a 4th round pick and much harder to get. But River Rat on the clock here at the 5:09. River Rat has taken Neighbors, London, JSN, and James Cook. Goes Kamara at 57. But the team behind him at 10 with their first wide receiver, they went Trip RB, A-Chain Henry, and TreVeyon plus Kittle. Their first wide receiver is Travis Hunter. So we'll monitor Team 10. We'll see how that works out for them, if they can figure it out. But if they're not like drafting 6 straight wide receivers, they're probably done. Probably going to be a tough battle there. I would love to see Team 10 grab another running back. Cobra saying Chase Brown not making it back to Team 1 at all now for the 2-3 turn. I want to see a first 4 rounds Bengals and see what kind of a team someone can put together after that. Yeah, doesn't happen these days. It used to be very achievable. As long as Higgins was there at pick 24, you always had Chase Brown in the 3rd. And yeah, it seems like because they weren't doing it for a long time, people like really overreacted and just started taking him. As I've seen him go like as early as like pick 15. Like once he got past the midway point and he was like always a top 3 pick, it was like the people who really liked him got fed up that they couldn't get him in the 3rd anymore, and they're like, all right, fine, well, if he's not coming back, I'll just take him inside the top 20. And now that's just where he goes. So glad I was taking a lot of Chase Brown back in round 3 when I could, but I was also taking a shit ton of Devontae Adams. So I could have had more Chase Brown than I do, but it's okay. The running back depth is not like my favorite thing here. Pollard is interesting, but I'm definitely going with Matthew Golden here. Some good hype on Matthew Golden, and with Jaden Reed's injury, Golden is like guaranteed all that production. And then while Addison is very tempting, there is the suspension. Meanwhile, Juwan Jennings is a little banged up. I'm going to go Jordan Addison. We have Jamar Chase. We have T. Higgins. I think we can tolerate a little bit of risk at the beginning of the season that Addison does not crack our lineup and it doesn't make a difference. There's also a chance that Juwan Jennings is injured enough where he doesn't crack our lineup either. So I think the higher upside play is Addison. Even though Juwan is good, I think he was a fine pick. I think on a per game basis, Addison has a more consistent chance at hitting the ceiling. As long as JJ McCarthy is legit. then I think Addison's a better player than Juwan Jennings. But both are good picks. Fine either way. Very happy to get Matthew Golden, though, at 72. That feels really good. So we could stack him up with Jordan Love later. We could also stack up J.J. McCarthy later with Addison. We got some more options. Some option. Anyways, one final rip before we end this draft. We're at the halfway point. Let's see what happens. And this troll is back. Yeah, this is weird. Anyways, after Juwan Jennings goes, we see Khalil Shakir, the team with Josh Allen, Jaden Reed at 76, Caleb Johnson to a team that needed running back, but does have Saquon, so maybe not desperately. And then Laporta goes to the team with Lamar, Pollard at 79, good value on Pollard, and pretty good value on Dave Montgomery as well at pick 80. Then Mahomes goes unstacked, Baker to the team with Egbuka, that has 3 running backs. Aaron Jones, Josh Downs, Jordan Mason, TJ Hawkinson to the team with Jones, and then Keon Kelsey to the team with Mahomes, Brian Robinson Jr., Joe Mixon, Pittman at 91, and now Godwin at 92. Oh, man. Higgins fell to 93. You know I would have had to click the button if he was there. But I think I'm going to pass on quarterback. The stacking options I have are available in the next round. So running back, wide receiver, or tight end. And I don't take a shit ton of Cooper Kupp, but I could see Kupp having like a safe floor at the beginning of the season. So normally I take Torrey Horton. Normally I take JSN. Today we're going to take Cooper Kupp just to mix him in. It's a $1 draft, so let's gamble on Cooper Kupp. And then tight end, we could go with just about anyone, but my plan is that I'm going to stack up Jordan Love, and Tucker Kraft is not going to be available, I think, coming back around. I think there's going to be a run on tight end, and Kraft will get sniped. So with the hopes of completing the double stack with Matthew Golden and Tucker Kraft, I will plan on Jordan Love, and even if I don't get him, I still think I'm getting a tight end in a similar tier as the other guys that go off. Like, he may not be the most valuable tight end left on the board. It's easily could be Andrews, it could be Loveland, it could be Tyler Warren or Njoku, but I don't see a big difference between them. You know, Albie, because they have a different color background every single time, I think it's the same person making like a bunch of different bot accounts. That's my assumption. Like, there's been a red, a blue, and a green, and a purple, and then this last one was an orange one in terms of like the profile picture. So it seems like each time it's a different account, which is pretty crazy. Like, like who the fuck is even listening to what they're saying? Like, they're putting like emojis. Like what do they accomplish? But I guess if you can set up a bot and you really want that message out there, you'll find a way. But kind of funny. Thank you for blocking them. Anyways, I'm hoping we get Jordan Love at the next pick. But it is kind of funny that now Judkins is back in the 9th round at 106. So we didn't take Judkins a lot. We took him a few times as he fell. But even when he was like going in round 15, 16, it didn't feel safe. Not at all. But if he is going to play a full season, this is a pretty nice price on Quinshon Judkins. The only problem is he hasn't signed his contract yet, and he hasn't practiced with the team once. He's a rookie running back who only played 3 years in college. I don't know if he's going to be able to dial in the game plan, instantly. I still think Dylan Sampson's going to have some type of role. Same with Jerome Ford, at least to start the year. But Judkins is definitely a more talented player. And if he figures things out quickly, he'll probably be on the field. And running back isn't like the most complicated position to learn, especially if you're not being asked to do every single thing. Like they have enough of a rotation where Judkins may not be on the field every single third down, like he might not be a true 3-down running back. He could, but there's a chance that he's not. There's still some risk. I also wouldn't rule out him just getting suspended by the NFL. Damn, that team with Jaden Reed goes Jordan Love. They knew what I was planning to do, and they don't let me acquire him, unfortunately. But we do have Burrow on the team, so that's good. I think I'm going to grab a running back with Tank Bigsby. And then we'll grab our backup plan of stacking J.J. McCarthy with Jordan Addison. I wanted Jordan Love, though. I think Jordan Love is more valuable than J.J. McCarthy. So that Addison pick does come in handy. If not, we would have had to take Purdy at pick 97 to stack with Juwan Jennings. And I remembered I said that at the top of this draft. We've been ignoring some of the stacks lately. We're going to try and prioritize that a little bit more. And in this draft, we did accomplish that. We have Joe Burrow stacked up with Jamar and T. Higgins. We also have J.J. McCarthy stacked up with Jordan Addison. But pretty disappointing to not get the double stack for Jordan Love. Would have been nice. Can't have everything, though. So here's the full team. We got pick 1 with Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Omarion Hampton, Joe Burrow, Kenneth Walker, Matthew Golden, and Jordan Addison. Then we took Cooper Kupp and Tucker Kraft, and then at the last turn we grabbed Tank Bigsby and J.J. McCarthy. I think the team is in pretty good shape. I think we got a pretty solid roster so far. But after JJ, Jared Goff, Kincaid, Stroud, Scatterboot, Braylon Allen, and Njoku, Ramondre, Ray Davis, Trevor Lawrence, Mims, Tyjae, Tootin, and now Javonte Williams and Demario Douglas at pick 135. Kind of high on Demario. Like we've been saying, as he creeps up the board, it's like the receiver position just gets so gross once Burden and Rashad Bateman are taken. You could kind of justify anyone, but none of them really feel too good. There is one guy, though, that I do feel relatively confident in, who I think is still on the board. So perhaps that'll be my next pick. He is at the top of ADP. And he does not get taken. All right, give me Keenan Allen for sure here. That feels good. And then tight end is drying up. Actually, I might regret this, but I'm going to go with Michael Penix and Kyle Pitts. Yikes. Yeah, I'll do that. Penix behind ADP feels like a good value. And then at some point, you got to draft Kyle Pitts. Why not do it in a $1 draft? If I'm going to increase my exposure to Kyle Pitts, let's do it at the cost of only $1 instead of in like Best Ball Mania or even a puppy, even a $5 draft. Never feels good. But for $1, we can tolerate it. And I also think my receiving core was good enough where I didn't really need Keenan Allen. But I will admit, I have Keenan Allen ranked back-to-back with Cooper Kupp. Don't see a massive difference between either of them. But Keenan going way later. Definitely has some injury risk. You know, he's generally fine. He's held up. At least last year he did, but has missed some time in the most recent years other than last season. And both veterans in their respective offenses. Probably going to be involved, but not the number one target. Should score touchdowns, though. There's a lot of similarities between Kupp and Keenan this season. But Najee off the board. And another spammer. Strange how many times it's happened. Anyways, let me focus. Let me focus. I feel like this team doesn't need very much. Like, I think it's really balanced. We have 3 quarterbacks, maybe a little overkill, but not the worst strategy. Decent tight end 1, perhaps a valuable tight end 2, most likely not. And then only 3 running backs. So I'll go with Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt. Let's grab another running back for sure. And then I'll pair him up with a Jalen McMillan. Someone who may have more value at the beginning of the season and might counterbalance some of the lack of value from Jordan Addison while he is suspended. Maybe those first 3 games, McMillan is going to be more productive than Egbuka. Because McMillan scores touchdowns. That's the thing about McMillan. Granted, he's no longer the number 2 receiver. In Tampa Bay, he was not scoring touchdowns when he was the number 3. But perhaps a guy like McMillan is being slept on just a little bit as we like fawn over Emeka Egbuka. One thing that sucks is I got to reset some settings. Sorry, I'm talking to myself on this one. In order to get the comment section up, I gotta do a new like URL every single time from this like overlay I have for the chat. So to get your comment back up, I gotta do a bunch of different steps. Anyways, Torrey Horton goes pick 170, so now he's in round 15. I'll probably not scoop him up as much because, like, even though I'm really hyped on him, I think he could be really good. It requires Cooper Kupp to miss some time. Torrey Horton might be better than I'm giving him credit for. Maybe Darnold is also better than I'm giving him credit for, but I'm not expecting a lot of targets for Torrey Horton at the beginning of the season. Like, he looked great in the preseason game. He was targeted a lot in that scenario. But the preseason, while the top 2 targets are sitting on the bench, staying healthy, is not like a guarantee that he's on the field very much in the regular season, at least to start the year. I'm not sure how many 3 wide receiver sets that offense is going to run. Probably a decent amount, but maybe less than we think. Because they do like to run the ball. They do like to throw to the running back. And I could totally be wrong, but I feel like that team would benefit from having both Kenneth Walker and Charbonnet on the field at the same time. That'd be a pretty deadly backfield duo. And I know there's not a ton of 2 running back formations these days, but I feel like those 2 guys on the field together would be pretty deadly. So as Torrey Horton continues to skyrocket up the board, maybe we stop taking him. We got in while the price was much more attractive. But I'll go Woody Marks here, fading Joe Mixon, fading Nick Chubb. And then can I tolerate Tucker Kraft and Kyle Pitts with the same bye week? Probably not. I'll go Jatavion Sanders. There's no stacking option with JJ. There's no stacking option with Penix. We already have him. And this late, while I think I could maybe get Mike Gesicki. Oh, no, Gesicki's already been taken. Gesicki off the board. Yeah, Gesicki went 181, which maybe is the right call. Like, maybe Noah Fant is nothing, but I kind of don't really want to draft either of the Bengals tight ends. It doesn't really feel worth it, but somebody's going to get some targets. It's not the worst pick in the world. Cobra asking which player from the team playing today would have his ADP spammed up by just one play. Let me remind myself of which teams are playing today. We got the Titans and Falcons. I think Michael Penix could. I could see, as odd as it sounds, I could see Kyle Pitts move up the board. If Pitts has like a really good drive, maybe. But I think we've learned our lesson. I think that's probably not going to happen. Perhaps Elika Yamanor. And then for the Chiefs and Seahawks, probably Torrey Horton again. And then maybe like Isaiah Pacheco. If Pacheco has a really good drive, I could see Pacheco. But Alex, this is not a bad call either with Jalen Royals, who goes right off the board at 204, as we mentioned him. A nice little coincidence there. But that team goes Tyler Higbee over Terrence Ferguson. That's interesting. Maybe I'm going to be wrong on my Terrence Ferguson investment, but I don't think so. Is there news on Tyler Higbee? The only news is 4 months ago saying he may be challenged by the rookie. So would have to look elsewhere for some updates on Tyler Higbee. This team only has 6 receivers. We need a 7th. We got Jamar, T. Higgins, Matthew Golden, Addison, Cooper Kupp, and Jalen McMillan. And if he is available, I'll go Ayamanor. I could also go Tesla. And then any stacking options? We could also go Jalen Naylor. But I'm not dying to do that. Ray McLeod as well. Or I could go like Jermaine Burton / Yoshi Boss. Yoshi Boss has been taken, though. I think with Jamar and T. Higgins, I'm just going to bet that those guys stay healthy and pass on Jermaine Burton. Yeah, we'll further invest in Elik Ayamanor. Let's make that call. Here's the final team. We went with the 3-5-7-3 build with Joe Burrow, J.J. McCarthy, and Michael Penix. Given I took Joe Burrow in the 5th round, not the 6th or 7th, maybe taking 3 was incorrect. If I could have a pick back, it would be McCarthy, but I didn't expect that Penix would be there. And then the only reason we took Penix was to pair with Kyle Pitts. So maybe I should not have taken the 3rd quarterback, but I don't regret it that much. Running back, Hampton, Kenneth Walker, Tank Bigsby, JCM, and Woody Marks. I think fine. I think good enough to get it done. I like the production at the top. And then wide receiver, a little top heavy as well, but Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, stacked up with Burrow always feels nice. Matthew Golden, Jordan Addison, Cooper Kupp, Jalen McMillan, and Elik Ayamanor. So hopefully Cooper Kupp and Jalen McMillan fill in this roster early on and both stay healthy, both keep a role viable. And then when Addison comes back from suspension, comes back from the bye week in week 6, does fill in considerably after that point, and the stack with J.J. McCarthy is going to carry us. And then tight end, we took Tucker Kraft, Kyle Pitts, and Jatavion Sanders. We did get Kyle Pitts stacked up, but don't feel very safe with his floor. So did want Jatavion as a little added component there. We also have double buys in week 5. But the main reason I took Kraft well above ADP is because I was trying to get the Matthew Golden, Tucker Kraft, Jordan Love stack, and it did not happen. We got sniped on Jordan Love in this lobby. Dang. The CBS bot is just not giving up. Anyways, it's time to move on. This draft is over, and so is the live stream. I know y'all were asking, are we doing another? But I just don't think I have the time today. I wanted to get this done kind of early, and I don't have enough time in this evening window to get some editing done and then also go out tonight as I'm planning. So that'll be it. Hope y'all enjoyed, and hope you guys get in on the $1 tournament and crush it. Good luck, everyone. I'll see you guys next time. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Goodbye.